Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome again to our program IULM FLOW. This is the new appointment. Today we are here for this conversation, YourChange Canvas, and we will have our guest, Dr. Alessandro Lotto, Master in Mechanical Engineer at the University of Padua, MBA of Henley Business School, and creator of YourChange Canvas. Let me introduce just a little the contest. We have this conversation with our guest, Dr. Alessandro Lotto, with our student of the International Bachelor Program in the course Leadership and Creative Thinking. Today we will talk about change, the meaning of change for individual, organization, and the system. Why? This course, Leadership and Creative Thinking, try to teach or to open conversation in action in order to help future leader, I prefer to use the keyword like future leader, to develop thinking and creative thinking, able to adapt different solutions for the future. Now is the time to, first of all, thanks to our guest. And Alessandro, the stage is yours. Let me close my presentation.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So, here we are to talk about. Sorry.
Non è in full screen a video. Wait a second, Alessandro, we have some problem. The screen is black, that's why probably we can check it. Now it's okay.
Okay. So we have to talk about organization. That which means talking about change, because organizations are continuously changing. Okay. And we are talking about you, because organizations are made, every single person. And here we have to talk about the dark side. Most of us have a dark side. And the organization is the better place where to find it. And let me introduce myself. I'm a mechanical engineer, master's degree in management in UK. I'm 8 times general manager at several companies. I'm in my 50s, but as interim manager, I was able to find every year a company where to get into and try to change something. 2 startups in the creative industry in London, Musication Israeli, communicating for music, and music in Italy, while they music for the luxury brands in the hotel restaurant, and some professional activities with speakers, so on.
But I'm not sure that you do what I am. Let me a little better. Describe myself, telling you what. And I'm not a in the traditional way of meaning it. Okay, some technical suggestion. Okay, increasing the volume. So what I am actually is a former welder My last welding was 20 years ago. That's so much for you, but not for me. And looked to the flame of the welding so many hours, so many times, that I found into this flame lots of different walls, better walls, where I will to stay. And I reached to a state of narrative challenge. That's the point. When the narrative thinking starts to be in the place in your professional, personal life, something happens. In my example, what I really did in my life is explore the emotional side of seeing the world. As welder, I was lots of emotional, the anger to be not in the right place. Then I tried to understand the rational way of thinking. So the mechanical engineer that learned me to how to see the world by numbers and framework. And the general management, I reached this state because I like the idea to understand what is the relational way of seeing the organizations, the world. General management means relations all the time. But it was not enough. And I thought, okay, what I miss, and maybe I miss something with international, because all in all, inside I'm a welder with some dreams. And I learned English on very late, on my 40s, and I came to go to UK to try to have my second degrees without knowing English very well, actually. Okay, I got it. Then I tried to make something real. It's not only mental, it's real world. Is made of startups, of thinking, of business. So I founded my startups in London and in Italy. Then I tried to find something of an overarching sense of everything I did. And I found it on the storytelling mindset. I had 7 years on the storytelling, Italian observatory corporate storytelling, together with Andrea Fontana and Alessandra Cosso. And now I thought I was ready to make my sign, trying to look for my personal synthesis of what is the organizations, professional and personal. There is no boundary for me, actually. And here is what I found, that we need to connect in the organization the rational mind, the relational mind, the emotional mind, the existential mind. But something was missing. Again, something was missing. What missed? And to find what was missing, I needed to look deeply into the mirror. And is there in the mirror where I discovered the dark side. Okay, what do we already know about the dark side, about this subject? In the books, we can find this framework, the Dark Triad, Paulo Williams, 2002. And they say that the dark side in the organization are mainly characterized by 3 characters: the narcissist, the psychopath, the Machiavellianism. That means people who looks for their grandiosity, pride, egotism, lack of empathy. Psychopaths in the organization are the people, but not only organization, even between your friends, maybe you. Antisocial behavior, impulsivity, selfishness. Machiavellianism is manipulation, intention towards others, the lack of morality. So the academic think that this is the dark side in the organization. I do not agree. Why? Because first of all, some people are telling very clearly that they are successful people. And they are the bad guys, yes, but they are successful. And it's not so easy to be successful in the organization. Absolutely not easy. Even the Harvard Business Review are describing that, okay, the bad guys win at work. But why? that wins at work, in your opinion? Maybe because they are manipulative and cruel? Maybe, but not only. And here the key words are energy, organizational energy. The key words is what I think is the new cash. I think that you have already know the words, the cash is the king. No, the organizational energy is the new cash, is the king. The willing of doing something that is not just your personal, but in your organization, something that has a project, that is the new cash. And I can use a framework by Bracken and Vogel that split the energy in organizations 4 areas, separated by the quality of the energy, positive or negative, the intensity of the energy, high or very low. So we can find negative quality, low energy, the silent people, the people that have politics mindset, not good. There are the high quality but low intensity, that are the people in the comfort zone. They love the quiet living. I can assure you that when you are working with a team with an objective, they are not so good. Then there are the creative people, the allies, that people that when you propose something to change, they love it and they make lots of energy, creative energy, high quality, high energy, very good people. And then we have the corrosive people, the dark side character. Then, okay, thank you. Some technical adjustment, fine. The corrosive people are the dark triad characters. Fine. What they are in common? High energy and the existential components. They work thinking about existential. They work, the project is something that is very important for them. One reacts with good energy, the other with corrosive energy. But if we need energy in the organization, well, then the corrosive and the creative are the same source of energy and the value. So the bad guys win because they are lots of energy. They are extroverts, openness, curious, self-esteem. There are some costs for the organizations, I know, but they have lots of this new cash. So whereas we can find the drainers of the energy in the organization, and the point is that the drainers are both the bad ones and the good ones. Substantially, you are the drainers in some way. And likely, there are the YourChange Canvas, the shadow cards that you can see in this moment, that are the cards that wants to make you thinking about your dark side and help you to manage it. But you should be capable to look deeper into your mirror. But now, let's back. Let's start from the beginning, coming back to the light side and the YourChange Canvas. What is it? It is a framework, very, very easy, very nice, very readable. You can read, I think, all the text. Maybe now it's better. So it's a framework with lots of academic studying, real life experience that I make visual because I want to spread, to share everyone this way of thinking organizations and change. So it's a very visual. There are 2 axes, horizontal axis, vertical axis. The horizontal axis is the storytelling axis. And there is this very, sorry, there is the visual can have some problem, but you can follow my speaking. So there is the call to action is the first step on the storytelling that I propose you. It's storytelling that you can find in your personal, but there are 100% in the organization. The call to action. What I mean is reasons why you are prone to take the risk, to take the responsibility for the project. I want to know it, and you have to know your colleagues, what are their particular way to accept the call to action. The framework proposed 3 ways to accept it. Then there are the new world. When you have accepted the responsibility for a change, then your energy are increasing and you start to imagine. You start to imagine things and imagine there are some ways to do that. Depending on your mindset, there are 3 ways that I can propose you to identify your particular way to imagine new world in organizational terms. Then when you have something in your mind, you tend to speak out it, to describe it to the people. And what happens is that someone are very happy for you, others are not so happy for you. They are hostiles to you. And it's very important to understand how you are going to manage these hostiles. And there are 3 ways to do that. Then there is the change. If all goes well, you can now face the change. And the change, there are 3 ways to not get lost, to maintain the tensions that we are going to see later. After this change, you have to return home, but regardless of the outcome, if you are trying, it's enough. If you try, there are more and more things to bring back to home, even if the project was unsuccessful. 3 ways to understand, to face your way to return home with something, tools, new tools for you that have learned during the travel, during the trip. There are another axis, the vertical axis. So in the organization, there are 3 levels of depth. The first one is the surface, is the information, is the data. Many of you are aware that data is very important, but it is the surface. The representations of the world with data is just the surface. You have to understand what there is under the sea, the relationships, the politics, the ambitions of people who have to manage this data. If you don't understand these relationships, you are not able to change nothing, actually. And if you understand what is the reasons why of people that are working in organizations, it's not enough, because there is another level of depth where the iceberg is very dark, the sound is very weak, people don't speak at all. We are talking about people that works in organizations like everything is a personal fact. It's existential, the existence. You can think about a founder of a company, of a startup. There is no separations between personal and professional, not at all. You have to understand there's particular language, particular mindset. If you don't do that, you cannot change nothing in organization. So the framework is this one. On the horizontal axis, the framework, oldest framework that the humanity built, that is storytelling. In the depth, 3 different cognitive systems. Now, the game. The game is in this way. I have to understand what is your choice, what is your profile, what is your way of describing yourself, but not in a psychological way. Describe yourself so that others can understand where they can trust on you when you are facing troubles in an organization change path. For example, call of action. Try to ask yourself, what is the way, the reasons why you are accepting a risk? Imagine the last time that you have faced a choice that involved risks or responsibility. Risk not only for you, but only for your friends, your family, your colleagues, your mate. And In these situations, you have the choice to answer me. You have did that choice because there was a sense of urgency, because there was a numbers, something to reach, described by a numbers, objective fact that you have to overcome or everything is going wrong. If you have a number and information is very pragmatic that tell you you have to do that, you are going to do that. If it is, you can choose this card. But there is another one, the team card. It's the choice that is chosen by people who think, okay, I'm taking some responsibility, some risks for myself and for others. Yes, I do that, but only if the people around me are asking me, silently asking me to do that. If my family, my friends are telling, okay, you are the right people, maybe you are not so brave, but very good, maybe you are going to lost, but you have to do that, because you have to do that. If something are asking you and you feel this energy increasing, okay, this is your card. There is the last one, is the more deeply, is the card chosen by the people who think that I'm making some choice not because a number are asking me to do, is not because some people are asking me to do that, but because I love challenge myself where I'm weak, not where I'm strong at. Where I'm weak, I feel something increasing, some energy, and that is the reasons because I'm facing lots of risk. In the organization, there are lots of entrepreneurs that have no doubt the card is this one. Later, if we have time, I will ask you to compile software where you can make your choice and profile your line. But now go ahead. Now, imagine the new world. Imagine the organization that could be 3 ways to map your mindset. The first one is, okay, I'm imagining the future in the organizations through numbers, key performance indicators. If someone of you practice some sports, I mean, if you have to reduce your timing of half a second, okay, with a number you can describe what you have to eat, how much you have to sleep, how many times you have to meet your friends. So a number can describe lots of a physical, environmental way and fact. Another way to imagine is describe the world in a leadership and organizational wording. So the future needs to be with a leader more participative, a leader more strong, and the organizations more detailed. If you use this kind of words, this is your choice. You are imagining the words in terms of how people relate each other. There is another one choice that you can do. It is values. Is the way to describe future organizations using some values inside, use some words that imply values. And it's the more depth way to describe the future. And now it's very important to do that. Every one of these cards are right and are wrong. The important is to have the oversight of all of them. Now I have to go faster, but there are 3 choices even for the way you are going to manage hostiles. The first one is the choice made from who of you think that sometimes you have to face the hostiles and tell him what you think. Others is the times to manage the energy of these corrosive people. Other times you have to respect their angers. Talking about change, there are 3 ways to don't get lost. The classical way is have a business plan, very detailed, or you are prefer to not telling the numbers, not telling what, not telling how, not telling when, but telling why, the sense. This is the way to not get lost, telling the why you are asking other people to make something. Then there are the trust, not numbers, not storytelling, but building relationship with the people that you are asking to change. Then we have to the return home. There are some people that are very prone to focus all the energy on the tools, database, computers, informative system. Others that are more inclined to talk about culture, so the really final destination is the new culture, a new way of thinking, of acting, of behaviors. Other times, there are the people as the center of the willing of your thinking of change. Try to imagine your choice. I can show you an example of a choice. The choice profile people. In this case, we have a person who have chosen these cards. Another person has made another choice, and a third person of a team. The game is now interesting when you intersect all these three lines. For example, here we can see three people of a team, different people, but here they converge. So these three people, when have to imagine the new world, use the same mindset, the same wording. So here, these three persons are very coherent, are going to drink a coffee or a beer very likely because they are talking the same language. But it's more interesting here because here, these three people are focusing on three different way of thinking the returning home. One of them are very prone to the tools, another one to the culture, another one to the talented person. So they have three different mindsets. They are going to have some contrast between each other. So this is the bad news. But there are the good news, because all of these 15 areas need to be oversight. All these 15 areas are needed to be oversight, because if you less the oversight of one, all the castle can ruin. Here there is an example of a team that interact between each other, and there are a narrative dominant. There is a storytelling that is done from the sum of their choice. If you can see the numbers, is this the calculation of the choice that they have made. And these represent the narrative, the identity, storytelling identity of the team. Here we can meet again the dark side, because now we have people that have profiled themselves. We have people that have oversight of different areas of the framework. We have identity storytelling, but it's not everything good as we can imagine, because have a look. This is a team where people are acting because they want to overcome their weakness. It's good because there are lots of personal energy or personal commitment, but there is a dark side on it. And I can ask you if you can understand your personal dark side. Who of you have made this choice, the card of fatal flow? If someone of you are telling, okay, I'm accepting risk and responsibilities because I want to overcome my weakness, well, there is a dark side on this choice that you can try to understand, to imagine looking at this picture. If you cannot see anything in this picture, it's not good. If you can see something, okay, it's better. What I mean, are you able to see that if you are going to take the responsibility that can involve not only you, but all your friends, your team, very likely, if you are going to do that for your weaknesses, you are not looking for compromise. It's too much personal. And in this picture, the heroes are turns the back to everyone. He's not so prone to listen other typically. And he's going towards a dark, unknown place. Who accept project for these reasons are typically a low perceptions of risks. And if in a team there are many people that have chosen this card, we have many people that are turning her or his back to the others. The team has another. I've chosen this particular team, I've chosen the values. Okay, it's very good. They are very people that are very sensitive to the values matters, fine, but there are a dark side of the values represented by this picture. If someone of you have chosen values as a way to describe future, maybe have to think about the dark side of your choice. What you can see here, a thief that is represent the value, the red represent the passion that you are protecting your particular way to represent values, but this teeth is extracted from the surrounding tissues, but is still alive. So what I mean, that if someone of you has some values very, I can say planted in you, so you are very sure of your values, that your values are right, very likely, it's very unlikely that you are going to go in organizations that are perfectly aligned with your values. It's very unlikely. It's more probably that you are going to live in organizations that are not aligned with your values. It's statistically likely. And there are no instruments to change the values of the organizations, of your values. There are no way to think or act or speak about values without pain. And eventually, when you are aware that you have yours and others have the others, there are the disenchantment. I don't know how is the right pronunciations. And there are another choice of the team. The team mainly respect the anger of others, because anger is an emotion, and the emotion, we have to respect the emotion of people. Yes, it's right, but there is a dark side of the people who all the time are talking about emotions. That is good, but if you talk too much about emotions and you respect too much the anger because it is an emotion, because maybe you have to look to this picture and think a little more about your dark side. What you can see. We have a toy, and it represents the risk that the people that talk all the time about emotions and talk about anger with respect because it is an emotion, maybe their emotion is a toy. The Tyrannosaurus Rex is the most anger animals in the history, but here is represented by a toy, and it could be a form of self-gratification. I'm very nice with people, even if they are angry, so I'm a nice person. It's a dark side. And you see the egg in the background. Okay, many people cannot see in this picture that the problem, the reasons of the anger is not the emotion in itself, is because he or she is protecting something. The nature of the problem is not the emotion itself, has a practical nature, is an egg. And the arms, the tools that the person who is in anger is too shorter to manage by him or herself the problem that is facing. Practical speaking, I lots of time work in the organization. There are people that are very in an anger state of mind, and instead of hiring a coach, I'm hiring processes organizational specialists, because very often they are in an uncomfortable situation because the organization is not so good. Making the organizations flow, making their working better, the emotions decrease. There is no emotional side by practical side. Who make the choice of the anger sometimes didn't recognize the practical reasons because someone is in anger. Here we can see that the team have made the choice of the trust. So they want to manage the change and building relationship with people in the organizations, talking with them, with even people that are very in the workforce. Okay, I'm going to close. Okay. There are other dark side that now we have no time to describe. I can finish, Francesco. Okay, perfect. So, what could be the dark side of the person that are telling, I'm going to manage the change, building relationships with people? There is, where is their dark side? There is, because when you're working in organizations, maybe you are going to have a leadership position, so you have someone else that are doing the job, the hard job. So the relationships I make mention is the relationship with the people is working below your hierarchical level. So the people who are going to sell, to produce, and maybe you are not aware that this is a kind of relationships that is not so warm, is made on a utilitarian basis. So the cold, the metallic materials, the cold, you can imagine the cold feeling when you touch something of material, means that your relationship is made on just to have information. When you have obtained these informations, your relationships, okay, there is no reasons to go on, to continue. And you are going to find somewhere something that want to talk with you. Now I have to go a little faster and go to the last one. Here the team, sorry. Here the team have made the choice, the culture. So mainly the person that made the team tell, okay, the destination is a new culture. Okay, very good. It's not bad. But there is dark side. If you like to talk about culture all the time, it's good, but there is a bad side. In looking at this picture or reading the words. The backside, the dark side, is that very often people that are telling all the time about culture have a particular idea of what the culture should be. Are you sure that the people are aligned with your idea? I have met a lot of very clever person who tell something very interesting things about culture, And they all the time try to insert this thinking into the other's mind and meet a padlock, because it's so sure that this idea of culture is right, is correct, that don't matter if people understand or not. Put into it and make a padlock. The cracks means that maybe someone wanted to, have other ideas and try to go out. But when the company, organization has strict rules about culture, it's very difficult to go outside, etc. So there are other dark side, but now the timing is finished. So I just want to ask you, do you want to play? But before to play, I think that Francesco has something to ask me.
Thanks so much, Alessandro. Thanks so much. We are ready to enter in the second part of our conversation. Like we anticipate, the format is always after the question, after the presentation, we prepare some Q&A, and I will ask to the students one by one to ask to you something related to the topics. Let me resume just a little, because I keep in my mind some of the keywords that you present: pain, survive, awareness, conflict. These are the keywords that in some way also we discussed during our course, Leadership and Creative Thinking. Let me share the screen, and we are ready. Let me share the screen. Super. And now is the time, like I mentioned, to one by one to start for the question.
Good morning. My name is Naida. I'm an Italian student with Lebanese origins, and I study here in ULM Communication. We know what greenwashing is, and we know that many industries and companies do it, and we are aware of this situation. And even if we know it, we still buy it from this, and they still do it. So as future leaders, we will be more honest with the customers, or we will continue to greenwash the brands, or maybe we will say that greenwashing, so the fact of being sustainable, but as a fake, with a fake meaning, will be admitted. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to give you an answer using the shadow. So I don't know. This one. This one is the sense, the way of thinking of initial change, not telling what, but telling why. The central point is
the sense, the
storytelling. So the point is, who tells the story means if this will be able to put the non-ability of companies into good stories, they are going to admit it. So it's natural to look for this kind of.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Pablo. I'm an Erasmus student, and I want to know, like, for the future as a leader, like as a leader, like the environment is changing like all the time. So as a leader, like the leaders like should take the decision to change and to like the change before the environment change, or after. Like you should anticipate what is going to happen. And it's like my second question, like, is there any way to predict when there will be a change or how it will be?
So, thank you.
Of course, I have a connection with it. So here, the card that we are talking about is the sense of urgency. when is the environmental to ask you to change, that means that you are waiting for a sense of urgency that calls you
to act.
Actually, it's much easier ways
that the
the
environment
environment
help
tells
you.
you to act. But eventually, if in your organization there are
Some
some people that
resonate
resonate
some
some way to do things,
and
and the
then
environment
are
are
asking
asking you to change, and the people are not aligned with this change.
I have
I
to
have
tell
to
you,
tell you,
the
the
environment
environment can
very
very
little
little is
telling people do
do
what
what
organizations,
organizations,
the
the
people
people inside
is
are
able
able
to do.
to do.
Thanks so much. Now, the third question, I will do it because the student is not here in this moment. And the question is this. We talk about change leader. That is the main keyword. And the question is, will change leader be able to manage the future in a more ethical and sustainable way? And the second part of the question is, what do you think are the characteristics that leader of the future must have?
The answer is that
the energy
is so the same question
50
years ago was
cash
cash is the
now.
now energy is the key. So the future is
is
to be able to manage the energy of the people inside organizations, and to do so
needs
needs leaders to be very good person and a very bad person, because
or
he or she needs
each
to manage that side.
of them.
Both of them create energy.
Thanks so much. The next question is?
I'm Francesco. I'm an Italian student, and I want to ask this question. I think in the last centuries, humankind will live with the idea of potentially infinite growth, talking about economically and socially. And we are facing these years because this growth is not possible anymore. So I would like to ask you, is sustainable growth a possible reality, or is an oxymoron? Infinite, indiscriminate growth will not be longer our paradigm. So what will be and how leaders can interact with it?
Can I make every one of you
Are related to this question. Very good.
someone of
Someone
you
of you
to understand the growth?
the growth.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, not actually. Actually,
it's
it's
a
the
new
new
and
and
it is the
Chile
value.
is the value.
The growth,
The growth.
I but
But
the people,
the people questions, and
usually
obviously values brings thinking.
the growth
So the growth means
before
before economic profit. That's the point. So the card is value.
the point
The
is
point
that
is value framework is 1 of 15. So we need to make these questions, but we have to be aware that it's 1 of 15 of the whole system.
So
So
continue
continue
because something
something
take care of it.
take care of that.
Be aware
Be aware
are
there are
other
sensibilities activities.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Melina, and I'm from Dublin. I'm an Erasmus student. I was just wondering, there's talking about because I feel like there's a lot of leadership engagements. And I was just wondering, can we improve reproducibility, maintain sustainable economy, and also how do we improve these resources with our voice?
So the economy is very similar to the last. What I can focus in the last one, discovered with your voice. And here again, we are in
the call to
action
area
of
Canvas. So the question is that
you or the people who are taking some of these questions are very close to accept from call to action. And good. That's all
I can
say about
that. Is
very good.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Roxana. I'm an Italian student, and today my topic is about technology and democracy. Okay, for technology, I mean the website, okay, the chosen architecture, and my questions are: is technology democratic, and is blockchain a real solution, since the blockchain is a new paradigm that changes things because it's decentralized? And the third question is, how will a young survive in a world with an uncertain democracy?
Okay. Easy question. So, I try to. I need to put some.
Just see if you are able to see this side.
No,
maybe not. We can see this not that.
Okay, but Francesco,
I
made
something. If you can solve over something. Share the screen. Yes, I tried to share the screen. So you have to.
I'm sorry. I tried
to my cast. You have to share again the screen on your side. But about the technology, I'm sorry. The point is that technology is on my frame. Is the coming areas. It's something that you have to focus, and you need to be obsessive with technology to try to obtain some results. So all these tools actually are one of 15 of the old system again to try to put into intervention some results. Technology help to make some ecology, and it's very difficult to do that in organization. Technology in this is not so increasing much. And that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Patricia. I'm an Erasmus student, and I think we can all agree that the word leadership has a positive connotation. But the question is, will future leaders make a good impact considering the current social situation, or will they be moved by their own very interests? Yep.
Okay. information. So,
we have
there's
very open,
plenty of
background.
and
Tell the truth,
more
influential
leaders make the choice of flow. There are
goals of very personal on that. So the answer is, I'm sorry, but the future leader, the past leader, the present leader will be moved by personal willing. But the reason is very simple. If you want to lead something, it's a lot of energy that you are going to from your friends, your colleagues, your family. So you have to be a little obsessive on it. If you want to follow a social movement, it's just for storytelling reasons. And important. It's fine. You to try to make some energy, and will be not important if this movement is a social situation or not.
I'm talking about this not
multi impacts on the social. I'm talking about small, medium organization.
The multinational, of course, is another. What is the Elon Musk? Very important social
situation.
And
not taking.
Okay, thank you.
Hello. My name is Ada. I'm a Swedish student here in Milan. And my question is, with the new technology like big data and the laws that will evolve in the future surrounding this, do you think privacy will be protected or exploited?
I'm sorry. No idea.
Okay. But I'm thinking about like the leaders that are using this technology. Do you think they will exploit it, or do you think they will be a bit more respectful of consumers?
We are talking about leaders
that are working the of action of my framework, very likely in your future jobs. In my thinking, should be related to the small things. So this question is out of my control because we are talking of something too bigger because I can have an influence. And my thinking this moment is to do what to do where my impact. Maybe one person, it can be 100, millions. So
my field.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Pilar. I'm an Erasmus student. The most difficult thing for a leader is the decision to act against the rest is merely tenacity. So, a French philosophy, I think that the human behavior is changing. So he said that the human of the leaders is changing too. So my question is if you think that this statement is true, and the question is, from your point of view, what makes a person a good leader?
Okay, I make a reference. So here in full to area, we are asking why
should act as the first statement reference the act when is enacted. Okay? So the call to action. The first question
are relating the teams.
So
The leader
who act because someone else are asking him or her to act.
So there are one of three reasons, but there are a dark side on this kind of leaders. Partly they are good because there are
because the society are asking him or her to act. There is that side. The consent is a dark side.
Several times. Don't have
time to
listen to everyone. And there is
more energy
to act
for personal than to act who want to have a consensus for all the others.
Thank you. Okay, hi, my name is Molly and I'm from Sweden. And so my reflection was about the future of organizations and regarding the metaverse and the use of big data and also the backlash or the techlash that it has gained from the public. So my questions are, how will organizations manage backlash, and what are some suggestions on data ethics to implement in the future? And also, do you think there will be a universal framework regarding big data?
So there are questions
I to answer you to the metaverse reference.
What I think
that
the
profile
talking about metaverse and profile is better to
have a strong field profile, professionally speaking,
having
a
hands
profile.
What I mean is organization
people that
are describing himself
not as they are really are, but they are there actively.
In the metaverse, so
it's interesting because to build your profile in a speaking is very good because you can imagine to be everything outside.
Very leader, very
side and show
are very
outside.
Is there virtual face
of them showing your positions? And it is good. I don't think
all needs to be real at the job. It's more like a play. That's all.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Hello. My name is Flavia and I'm from France. So I read an interview in the Forbes magazine, and one of the questions was, as a leader, what are your strengths and weaknesses? And so I was a little bit surprised in front of this question, because for me, it dissociates the human from the leader. So I have a question, a simple one and maybe a personal one. So for you, if the human behind the leader has weaknesses, should he show them?
Okay. I have already. Everything that you have loved, the heroes or favorite
for sure, I'm 100% sure,
are facing to overcome or have in have
already took place in figure.
the weakness.
So the weakness is yes, again, is a platform, a practical,
as
emotional and some too much emotional weakness, not a good idea. It's not good idea, yes.
And of course, the flow is the fatal flow. People who to the call to action.
Weakness is why don't express it in the storytelling way.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Sasha, and I got a question about the ethical branding topic. So with the appearance of social medias, more and more brands had communicated in the political field. Brands such as Patagonia or Jerry's are communicated actively against Trump's presidency. So they seem to become social and political actors, pointing a direction to their community and leading them towards whether their conception of a better world or a better business plan for the company. So my question is, would a brand adopt a political opinion that could go against their profit motive?
In the end of this to change their position. And I think again tells the best win. It's a plan of clever person to try to give a brand storytelling of their acting. It's not my field, but an attempt like anyone else, maybe in 10 years, something different. Looking for the best.
All right, thank you for answering. Thank you.
Hi. Nicola. I just want to ask you something about your experience that maybe can help us. So three questions, they're related. If you imagine going back in time and talking to your younger self, what would you have done differently? And also, what are the suggestions for the students that are going to enter the labor market? What would you have found useful at our age?
Okay. So I think that I can take is respect the good one, even the bad, because the young was not so good person. Actually, I was very younger, and my emotional of thinking something of micro action. So trying to explore and more the other actions respect them for reasons you have and because going to this particular and you are going to at your job, if you are going to do things.
Okay. You also respond to the last question that like if the first time we come to a company, we should come off strong from the start or maintain a little attitude. So you already responded about that. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Alessandro. Thanks so much to all the students. We are at the end of this 1 hour conversation. let me resume again some keyword. Of course, the main title of this speech that Alessandro gave us at IULM here today is related to change, your change canvas. We talk about team, we talk about vision, we talk about awareness, we talk about pain, we talk about surviving, we talk about the capacity to adapt. Let me close this conversation with, first of all, say thanks to Alessandro for your time, your passion. Thanks so much to all the students that take part at this lection, Conversation in Action. Was confused, but at the same time was an experience, I think, to learn how to be, at the same time, content developer and also entertainment of the development of the content that you produce. Again, we are at the end of the talk. If you are interested, you can follow YourChange website because we have other appointments online for the next week. Thanks so much and see you soon. Bye-bye.